Welcome to Dad's Fathers TV Network. I'm your host, Mike. I'm here today with Mr. Tolliver. How's it going today, sir?
I'm great, Mike. I'm great. How you doing today?
Doing well, doing well. You got an organization called Man Up with Mr. T, right?
Right. Man Up with Mark T.
Mark T. I said Mr. T, huh?
I know. I'm not that guy with the mohawk.
Yeah, mohawk,
Yeah,
yeah, all right.
I'm Mark T. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, a lot of my viewers don't know who you are. So take a minute, let them know who you are and what your company does as well.
Okay. This is my radio program. The show's on Power Play Radio Network every Thursday night from 7 to 7. It's called Man Up with Mark T. And what we do is we bring significant people from the neighborhood and we let them tell their stories. The purpose of their stories is to inform, inspire, and enlighten everybody and hopefully uplift them with their stories. So what I do is I bring people on, let them tell their stories. We talk about topics, the things that they're interested in. And what I ask them to do is man up with me, because man up is a call of responsibility for me. The man I'm supposed to be in the neighborhood, the man I'm supposed to be in the community, the man I'm supposed to be to my family, to my wife, to my kids, and the kids that I mentor. I mentored thousands of kids over the past 2 decades, and I've always held a great deal of passion for helping men move in the right direction and basically move their life in a position where they're productive citizens. So I'm really proud to have a radio show in which I can host, in which I can bring people. So make sure you tune in every Thursday night, 7 to 9 on Power Play Radio Network, or on your mobile phone, shout host /mobile/PPRN for Power Play Radio Network. It's not just a radio show, it's a movement. So we're going to be doing a lot of things. So you'll see this logo all around as we progress. So I'm great to have the opportunity to be on Dads and Fathers, and I appreciate Mike having me on to just let his listening audience and viewing audience know what it is that I do, and hopefully that you'll join in and partner up with me so we can man up and make this community what it's supposed to be.
Absolutely, absolutely, because you and I both know there are a shortage when it comes to male leaders in the community.
Yes.
And you and I both know that the social media, the mainstream music, television, they have a lot of corruptness out there.
Yeah.
But they don't have a lot of true leaders who are doing the right thing in our communities.
Right.
You know, but they're building a lot of prisons.
Yeah.
And they really making it easy for these young kids to get caught up in the hype and you know, make those mistakes and go to jail. You know, but back to your thing, what are some of the things that, say, young high school kids or college kids, what do they get out of your show? What are some things you offer them for tuning in and things like that?
Well, basically positive imagery. You know, I want them to be able to come on to my radio show and be able to speak about who they are and talk about the things that they're interested in. We want to have topics in which we explore different opportunities. I don't want them to just be bogged down into, I want to be a rapper, or I want to be a football player, or I want to be an entertainer. I want them to understand that they can be an engineer, they can be a doctor, they can be a lawyer, but also they can be an air conditioner repairman. Mm-hmm. They can be a mechanic. They can own their own business. You know, when they get an opportunity to go to school, the most important times in a kid's life is between 18 and 22.
Right.
You know, when you're going to high school and stuff like that, you have what I call an edge of protection, because you got the principal and the teacher and for most part parents telling you to go to school, and you're around 2,000 kids a day. Mm-hmm. But once you get out, once you turn 18 and you cross that stage with that diploma, then what?
The world gets real.
Yeah. So the thing that I want to do is, as I deal with kids from 14 all the way to 18, help them to navigate through those formative years and help them to create a plan of what they want to do. Either going to college, going to the military, or going to some type of trade school. Right. That will allow them to be responsible adults. You know, especially with men. If you have a way to make a living, if you have a way to take care of yourself, that's self-esteem.
Right. Most definitely. Because we know nowadays, unfortunately, our children have more roadblocks to destruction than they do highways to a success.
Right.
So, right. Well, you're watching the Dad's Fathers TV Network. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Man Up, you know, Mr. Mark Tolliver, about something that's real dear to us at Dad's Fathers TV Network, $60,000 sex, how we can partner up to help fix that problem. You're watching Dad's Fathers TV Network. We'll be right back. Have you ever had a question related to child support, divorce, CPS? Call the Attorney General or maybe an attorney and they just gave you a runaround. Where do you go to get help? Contact Dad's Fathers of Texas. Yes, they are child support specialists. Dad's Fathers of Texas can answer your question. help file paperwork, and help find a family law attorney. Dads, Fathers of Texas, making child support simple.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. Call 800-711-3017. Again, 800-711-3017.
SBA Investor Ready Business Plans, written in 21 days. McDaniel Consulting is recognized as being business plan writer since 2001. Dallas Morning News, New York Times Magazine, and Women's Day Magazine attest to these facts. Business plans, 214-349-6564. That's 214-349-6564 or www.mcbusinessplans.com.
Welcome to Dad's Fathers TV Network. I'm your host, Mike, here today with Mr. Mark Tolliver of Man Up. A lot of you guys probably saw his commercial about Man Up. But what we're going to talk about is these young men, who get themselves in situation or predicaments. And what I like to call is called $60,000 sex. But most important, and I tell those guys, that's your roadmap to poverty. And you work with guys, you said, 14 to 18 years of age?
Yes.
And a lot of these guys at that age or earlier were having sex for the first time.
Right.
And what I'm trying to get the message across with the $60,000 sex is that one unprotected act of sex, within a 4-year period of time, they can accumulate more than $60,000 in child support debt. What do you think about that?
Well, I just think when you start talking about relationships and young men and young people, I don't think we really have a conversation with young men about considering the cost.
Correct.
A lot of times we raise our daughters one way and we raise our young males another way. A lot of times we raise our daughters, keep your legs closed, keep your dress down. You don't want that, don't mess with no little boy, be by yourself. With young men, we come back and say, you don't want to have one girlfriend. You don't have to take time to be in a relationship, instead of telling them the responsibility of a relationship. One thing about it, if you're going out and you're having sex, not even getting to the unprotected aspect, but the emotional state. And it's one thing that people don't understand is that when two people get together and they're intimate, it's an intertwining of souls. It's deeper than just the physical part of it. But we never get into the conversation about the physical. All we do about the spiritual, we only talk about the physical.
Right.
And that's what little boys see on TV. That's what they see in music videos. That's what they hear in the music, the physical. So all they want to do is act in the physical. It's amazing to me that before a young male has intimacy with a young female, they're getting along. As soon as they have sex and now a baby comes, now all of a sudden they're at odds. And they're arguing, and for now they call it baby mama drama, baby daddy drama, but they never understand it's a responsibility that comes not with just sex, but with having a child, that you're going to produce something. Even if you go through a relationship and within that relationship you break up, a young person, they're not mentally and emotionally strong for that. Now you're talking about embarrassment, you're talking about insecurities, you're talking about his friends saying things, you're talking about jealousy, and all of a sudden they're going through this whirlwind of emotions that they didn't expect, because the only thing they thought they were going to do was make their body feel good.
Right.
Then all of a sudden they got a child.
Right.
They're not even equipped to take care of a child.
They're babies having babies.
Babies having babies. They're
Right.
not even mature enough to understand that, a baby gets hungry when it first comes home from the,
Right.
hospital. They get hungry every 2 hours.
Right.
You have to feed them. You have to change them. A baby has no way of taking care of itself. So you have to stand on the responsibility. Unless you're willing to give up your life to take care of another life, then you just can't wander into a sexual relationship thinking that, it's all about just satisfying myself.
Right. And see, you hit the nail on the head, because a lot of young folks, like you said, they see it in the videos, beat it up and all that, and they don't realize the aftermath of that situation. And even more so, what I teach about in the $60,000 sex is the financial long-term ramification of that one act.
Yes.
I mean, and I know it's kind of cruel, but we did some research, and the average boy in the locker room or in the bathroom at a high school takes about 3 minutes for having an intimate moment with the young lady. And within that 3 minutes, it averaged him approximately $20,000 a minute. So you think about, you and I are gray hair age, and I'm over half a century old. I have never met anyone that was worth $20,000 a minute. And I say that mildly, I wanted to put it another way, but we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna jump off into more of the financial ramification of that one mistake. Young men, that one mistake, that beautiful girl that walked past you, is she worth a brand new Audi, BMW, Jaguar? Well, in most cases, $60,000 worth of debt in one situation. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Dad's Father's TV Network.
Attention active duty, National Guard, Reserve, and retired veterans. If you or a loved one was injured while serving our country anytime after October 2001, you may qualify for up to $100,000 in TSGLI tax-free benefits, even if the injury was not related to military service. Also, if you've been denied VA disability benefits for a service-related issue, we may be able to help. Call the James House Law Firm. Operators are standing by to assist you. Don't wait. Call the number on your screen now.
Do you find yourself worrying about those balding or thinning areas? Then you need Miracle Hair, the 60-second all-in-one hair solution for men and women. Just sprinkle Miracle Hair on the thinning or balding areas you want to cover, and you'll have the appearance of a full head of hair.
Call now and get Miracle Hair for only $29.95. Be one of the first 500 to order, and I'll send you a second Miracle Hair absolutely free.
Call the number on your screen to try Miracle Hair and reclaim your confidence. Call and order now.
Welcome back to Dad's Father's TV Network. I'm your host, Michael, with Man Up, owner and creator, Mark Tolliver.
Yeah.
And we're here talking about the topic, $60,000 sex, the roadmap to poverty. And before we took commercial break, you had some very great points about the spiritual side of it and how these young men and women aren't prepared for that emotional, I'm going to call it avalanche, because exactly what it is. Now what I want to talk about is the financial side. A lot of the young boys, they see it in the videos or whatever, but they don't understand the financial side of it. When you have a baby, that's very expensive.
Yes.
Very expensive. A milk alone is what, $15 a can nowadays, But they also don't know is the business side of child support.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, guys, the mother's going to need some type of medical support. You're in school, so you can't afford $300-400 insurance. So she go get Medicaid, and the state says whether you're a boy in school or an adult, we are not taking care of your child. Now, think about this. Within 4 years, you can accumulate more than $60,000 in debt. Now, when you go to try to get your driver's license, you can't get it. There are some colleges will not even let you in college with child support debt. Now, you finish high school, you have these goals to go to school, and then you can't get in state funding, student loans or whatever, all because of one situation. And I'm quite sure a lot of those boys don't think about that, huh?
Right, and I like the way you put it in terms of the financial aspect of it, because we don't really explore just how much it costs, how costly it is to have a child.
Right.
But it's kind of like good debt and bad debt.
Right.
Because there's some bad debt that, it's not good, bad, you don't want. There's some good debt, like saying owning a home.
Right.
If you look at it realistically, and what I'm saying is realistically is you can make a decision, because you can be $60,000 in debt and not take care of that baby. Or you can just simply assume the responsibility, marry that woman, and take care of that child. Now, there is no sex worth $60,000. It just ain't got
I ain't saw myself yet,
But with me having 3 children and seeing all 3 of them born and being in their life from the start, nothing, a child is priceless.
Right.
So if you're gonna fight that battle of I'm not gonna take care of that baby and then get the consequences that come with that. Because I'm gonna tell you, if you bring a child into this life and you don't father that child, then you're gonna live under a curse. I don't care how you look at it, you know, how you can, well, I didn't intend to, well, you shouldn't have laid down with her and had unprotected sex. But if you take care of that child, you're gonna be blessed beyond measure.
Right.
I'm not saying that you have to marry the woman, I'm not, but you have to take care of that child. Because see, if you agree, I'm gonna do whatever it is that I have to do to take care of that child, then you won't have baby mama drama. Because if you go see that child, go get that child, pick that child up from school, get a job. Now, the one thing about it is, it's the sacrifice that come with it. You have to give up your dreams.
Right.
You have to give up your dreams. Now, you might have to work at night, go to school during the day. You might not be able to be on the team no more. You know, you don't have that life of, oh, I don't have this responsibility. Your life is not yours anymore.
Right.
So you can be in $60,000 worth of debt. You can have her go get on welfare. You can have the attorney general calling you this and that. Or you can flip that and say, hey, I'm gonna take care of this baby. I'm gonna do everything that I need to do to take care of this baby. It comes down to the choice that you make as a man.
You know, the good thing about it, I mean, again, spot on, because sometimes we as men use what I didn't know as an excuse. And me being a father like yourself, you know, I have, you know, 3 children that are older children, you know, but fortunately for me, back when they was kids 20 years ago, we didn't have the, what I call the business of child support now.
Right, right.
But the good thing about it is, you young men nowadays, you can choose to who you sleep with or not sleep with at all.
Yes.
Because the sad part about it is, like you said, there are good debts and there are bad debt. If you feel you're going to get in $60,000 of debt, why not make it something that's an investment? Like you said, a home or a vehicle or a property or whatever. Because unfortunately, that one act, not only is it financially going to be damaging to you, but also the long term is you can't get a passport.
Right.
So if you wanted to live outside of the United States, it ain't going to happen.
Right.
You know, if you wanted to get a certain license, say in investments or insurance or engineering that requires a state issued license or certificate, you can't get that.
So in other words, you're not going to run away from your responsibility.
You're not going to run away from it at all.
You can say it's not my child. You can argue with child support, but once they do their paternity test and they find out it's yours, all the time you've been trying to run away from it, it's going to all come back on you.
And it's going to accumulate interest.
Right, and instead of you manning up,
And
saying, you
man
know
it
what,
up, right.
I made this child, I'm going to take responsibility for it, it's going to come back. So don't get mad when the Attorney General serve you and say, you've been sued.
Right.
Because when you laid down with her, you know, and like I say, good debt, bad debt, good babes and bad babes. You know, every woman that you sleep with you're not intended to have a relationship with her. So you can't just be running around sleeping with everybody. And it's the same thing with the females. The females have to raise the bar of the expectations of the men that they get involved with. You can't get involved with a man that's on misdemeanor probation,
Right.
you know, juvenile probation, you know, that's been in trouble all the time when he was young. Now you have a baby by him. He can't get a job. So now he can't get a job. How are you gonna pay child support?
You know, and the media makes the thug life look so glamorous.
Yeah.
But then, unfortunately, when a child is here, and you and I both know, taking care of a child, there's so many other things that goes along with that. Proper place to live, you know, the safety of the child. In the first 2 years, the child's like is always getting some type of illness.
Yes.
You know, and then after that, the little shots they got to do. Then you got to do school and daycare, and the list goes on and on. So I think the best condom is a smart female, and a better condom is a well-educated man.
Right, and you gotta never have children until you're ready.
Right.
You're not gonna have a good, wholesome family in life if you can't take care of that child.
Right.
And the same thing, man, you're not gonna have a good relationship with a girl if you can't take her out to eat. If
Right.
you can't go pick her up, if you
Right.
can't hang out with her. The same thing with the female. If y'all can't come together, you pursue your life dreams, she pursues her life dreams, and when y'all reach those goals, then y'all come together and share your life.
Right.
It's not about me being this type of man and getting a woman to hang on to me. It's
Right.
about both of us pursuing our dreams, getting our goals, accomplishing our goals, and then when we get together, you got money, I got money, now let's buy a house, now let's buy a car, now let's have children, putting it in order. You can't have a kid before you get a job.
Right, right. Because the sad part about it is, no matter what job or what profession you go in, they're going to get their money first.
Right.
They're going to take it straight out of your paycheck. And then I know some guys that come into my office and they had, $1,200, $1,500 checks, but they taking home $200 and $300.
Oh, yeah.
And guys, you got to ask yourself, is it worth it? Yes, there's some very, very beautiful young ladies in this world. We understand. We've been there before. But the question is that one act of what I call instant sex worth 20, 30, 40 years of life of debt, in addition to all the loss that come along with it? I like Mr. Tolliver's program, Man Up. He helps teach you young men how to make proper decisions. And then my organization, Dad's Father, is going to teach you the ramification of the law. So between the two of us, you have all the resources right here, right now. If you had that experience, you need any type of help, counseling, coaching, assistance, or whatever, you have both of us here. And that's why we recorded this program, Man Up, as well as Dad's Fathers. We're here to help you to avoid this $60,000 pitfall that will put you in poverty. One way or the other, you're going to go there. The matter is how you're going to get there with or without the peace. Because even if you were to make that mistake and choose to make monthly payment, are you aware of how long it takes at minimum wage to pay back $60,000?
Right. And then I'm going to tell you, I'm not the object of my program and my radio show is not to tell anybody how to be a man.
Right.
Not to say you need to do this. I mean, I'm coming from experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm coming from experience as to you have a child, you got to take care of it.
Right.
It's the responsibility of being a man.
Right.
There are 3 titles that we carry: husband, father, man.
Right.
And they all carry different distinctions and different levels of respect. If you're not a good husband, and it's going to tell. If you're not a good father, it's going to tell. If you're not a good man, it's going to tell. So you have to accept the responsibility. When you're born and you walk out and your mama gone and put your backpack on and send you to school, it's a certain amount of responsibility that you take into that world as a man. I got to get my school work. I got to be on time. I got to do, and some guys aren't on time. Some guys don't do their school work. Some guys don't take care of the responsibility. That's where the difference comes in. That's where you outdistance the guy that's not a good father, not a good man, not a good husband, because you take on the responsibility. Great deal of responsibility with being a man. How many times have you heard a woman say, be a real man, or you're not a real man? What does that mean? How can a woman say, be a real man? What does it mean to be a real man? You say, man up is just a call for me to be a responsible person.
Right. And I created Dads and Fathers because anyone can be a father, but it takes a respectful male to be a good daddy.
Yeah.
Because they always say, who's the father of the child? But how many times they say, who's your daddy?
Right.
Because dad is not necessarily your biological father. It could be a man from the community or a stepdad or a granddaddy.
Yeah.
So guys, main thing what we're saying is $60,000 sex can immediately put you in poverty with one wrong act. Or you can learn from what we're teaching you today. We appreciate you tuning in, and sir, I appreciate you sharing the show with me also.
Appreciate you having me, Mike.
And you've been watching Dad's Fathers TV Network. We'll see you soon.